what I'm saying? So
You know, that is a coat.
that is a who?
Liquor is a coat. Liquor,
Yeah.
alcohol is a coat.
Exactly. That's why you about to start sipping soon. And with that being said, man, you tuned in to the Late Night Hype with your boy Phillip Banks, Empress Black, the unruly one, man, and we got the motherfucking Ken Mills in the building, man. What's the deal, partner?
For sure. I'm happy to be here.
Hey.
All right, so before we get started out, man, let the people know where they can find you at on your social media. We're going to probably be doing this a couple of more times just to give you a heads up, but let the people know where they can find you.
They can find me on IG World of Comedy 5. Also on IG World of Comedy 5 Entertainment. On Facebook, you can find me at Ken Mills. And every other Friday, you can find me at the library in 3rd Ward on Scott at 2612 Scott. So if you follow me on my IG, you know where I'm going to be at.
Hey.
Every other Friday, like they got a comedy night that night, or what's up?
No, I do spot dates. I do events each month. They're tailored and they're themed with the consumer in mind.
Hey.
So right now, our series is politically incorrect. We headed to our 3rd installment, and that'll be November the 20th.
Okay.
Shoot, hey, they do say comedians keep people well informed of what's going on in the everyday life through laughter. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to know what's going on with the news and everything, and you don't watch the news, listen to your local comedians.
Oh, I got one more thing to tell y'all.
What's
I
up?
also have a TV talk show.
Oh, shit.
That TV talk show every Thursday on Boss Up Houston Network. You can follow us on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, Boss Up Houston Network, on Facebook, Boss Up Houston Network. We are live on Thursdays at 9 p.m. We talk about all world issues, all the issues that affect us as a community. I bring in basically everybody, all the top comedians, entrepreneurs, artists, everybody. Trust me, you'll never know who you might see on the show.
Man, it sounds like the Late Night Hype. You
Come
know what I'm saying?
For
We
sure.
got a little bit of everybody.
Okay.
Sure.
You know what
But
I'm saying?
speaking of the content that you're, putting out and the different events and different things that you having going on, like when did you start creating the platform? Like what inspired you to say, this is what I need to do?
Well, I can curse on here, right?
Hey, speak
All right.
your mind.
Shit, bitch, motherfucker.
Because it's the Late Night Hype.
Because on my platform, I don't do any profanity at all because I want to reach everybody.
Right.
But I know we got a tailored audience, so I'm going to be real honest here. You get tired of dealing with bullshit and getting shitted on. The reason why I bossed up and why I became an entrepreneur is for one exact reason. Nobody could deliver my vision the way I thought I could deliver my vision. I felt that every time that I was on somebody else's show, it wasn't executed properly.
Right.
So instead of me hating, instead of me talking about a motherfucker behind their back, what I went and did, I went and got my own shit.
Hey,
Man,
that's the truth.
that's how you
That
boss
is the
fuck
truth.
up.
Like, people don't get that. You don't always have to necessarily spread more energy into something not going your way because everybody's not going to have the same vision. And sometimes when you see the opportunity where you can try to help make something greater, either they don't appreciate it or again, you're not sometimes the person to, and you don't hinder yourself. And when you do it yourself, look what comes from it. The opportunities that steady present themselves.
Because see, look, the way I grew up, I don't wait on handouts. All right? So, everybody got their WIC, their food stamp story. I was a little bit more blessed. My mama was a hard worker. I come from a family where it was a family of hustlers.
Right.
So instead of us worrying about the opportunity being handed to us, we go take the opportunity. So I take that approach in everything in life. So as I look at it, yeah, I could try to help somebody build up their own shit, but guess what? I'm still gonna get paid minimum wage.
Right.
So why do all the work? Why get my insight and consultation, but not get the benefit of it?
Man,
Right. Come on.
man, preach. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but let me do me a quick favor real quick. Lower that spit screen real quick so we can see your face fully. Bam, there we go. You know what I'm talking about? Gotta see you on camera. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, I'm married, but the women might like it. You never
Come
know.
on, look.
You know, hey, one thing I've learned, honestly, man, when you with somebody or you got that ring on your finger, that just attracts them more. I don't understand it. I don't plan it. It just happens. And one more thing, is these 2 different cups of ice?
What? This here?
Is that cup of ice? Cause I got.
This is my cup right here.
Okay, well I'll take this
So,
one.
Yeah.
Thank you kindly. I just wanted to verify that information.
There's another cup.
Yeah. And Ken Mills.
Yeah.
What got you into the comedy business? You know what I'm saying? What made you start? Were you the class clown, or you know what I'm saying? You was telling jokes when you was knee high.
Well, I mean, you know, I always been the life for the party, and I always did some wild shit. You know, in my life, you know, I'm of a high intellect, so when I was in school, certain things didn't capture my attention, so most times I'd veer off. I'd poke fun at the teacher, I'd poke fun at my classmates, and people would like that. But, you know, I was money oriented, so I House of Blues, 85 South had their show, and I had front row tickets. So I'm sitting front row, and there's a Caucasian gentleman sitting next to me, and I got my elbow in his chest like this the whole time, because at the time I was about 350. So I'm boring him in his chest. Carlos, Chico, and DC Youngfly see it, and they start talking about it on the show. So I went to the back, and I started talking to them. They was like, "Do you do comedy?" I'm like, you know, I done did open mic before or whatever. They say, "Man, you really need to go do it because you done made us laugh without even saying a goddamn thing." So that next week, I went to Las Vegas. I did a set of shows out there. Then I came back here, and I just been mashing Houston. I started off at Carrington's with Cliff 2, behind the comic. And ever since then, it been on.
And all it took was that one person saying that one thing, like, "Hey."
You know, sometimes you lean toward a certain area, but then you like, you know, at the time I was 37. I'm like, I'm too old to be, you know, running around here trying to. I tried to rap when I was young.
Right.
You know, shit, I'm old, man. I'm married. I got responsibilities and shit. What the fuck it look like I'm out here running, chasing the dream? But then, you know, I had the support of my family and my wife. And hell, we here now.
Okay, I ain't mad at it.
No, am I.
That's like the true reality that a lot of people miss, because it's not to say that you can't follow a dream, but it's like once you get to a certain point in life and then you kind of enter into different chapters, it's like the priorities kind of take set, and then it's like what can be more lucrative for your family versus that dream. Because you can keep going to the studio, buying beats, going to these shows, spending money on the tire, trying to do this, that, and the third. And you can, not to say if you already have money to decide to do it or have a job that can front the family and that on the side, but you creating a future for your family.
Because you always got to have a backup plan.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you can't just be in it.
Basket, like grandma used to say.
Exactly. And one of the main reasons, or one of the main things that I see people fail at is that can't be your core focus. You know, as you live through life, you got to be able to sustain yourself. Right. And that should be your primary goal, because self-preservation first rule of man. So once you figure that out, then if you have aspirations, run towards your dream, but at the same time, work smarter, not harder.
Indeed.
Because, I mean, you're going to spin your wheels. Like, you can have a barometer to figure out if you really got it or not. And sometimes the people around you will be scared to tell you that you ain't shit. So sometimes you got to, you know, really just go out there and really try. And a stranger is your best friend, because a stranger will tell your ass. Like, look, homeboy, you ain't got it. You ain't funny. Get the fuck off the stage. Or homegirl, you sound fucked up. Get off the stage.
Right.
But some people, they get in that la-la land and think they're a star, and they do a lot of local shit, and they think that that is going to get them somewhere. Once you get out of Houston.
Testimony.
Once you get somewhere, that's your barometer. Because them people out there, they going to tell you, because they going to hate on you already because you from somewhere else.
Right.
And they don't owe you nothing.
Okay.
They ain't going to be no yes man to you.
They're not going to know your content from nothing. You're going to be a different anything that you're offering, because like you're saying, you're not from there. But reality, you're doing it locally. you're going to have the same people that see you. And then depending on the sound of it, or just still not even to say the sound because it could be different, but it's just you're a Houstonian, so Houstonian recognize Houstonian, so some you got people that's going to naturally rock with you. Or the people that don't want to say anything, it's more so they not saying it because they don't want to come off like they overstepping their boundaries. And then like you saying, the people that don't want to say shit, that don't want to see you get higher than what they trying to do.
Exactly. I'm glad you said that. There's an open mic spot. I ain't gonna call it out. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't, you know what I'm saying, gonna bash it too hard. But the open mic night spot on Mondays it's cool. I rise with it. I perform there a couple of times myself. You know what I'm saying? But they got this one artist. He's there damn near every Monday. This nigga is trash. I'm talking about serious trash. He think he can sing and dance. Can't do neither. Got about 3-4 videos. Still ain't happening. I don't know who's in his circle, but brother man, if you listen in and you recognize who I'm talking about, because last time he performed, I couldn't even look at the stage. I have a back turned, just dying like he was spitting comedy. Give it up.
Exactly.
Just give it up.
And it's not, you can't be in any type of industry where you're doing any type of service or art and you can't take constructive criticism. Just because you have the passion for something doesn't always mean that that's your calling.
Because I'll tell you this, another part of the game too is that, okay, everybody want to be Michael Jordan. Everybody want that adoration, that respect, that love, but you also got to realize Pippen got paid eventually too. John Paxson, he got his just due too. He's a
People
president.
didn't praise Pippen until they saw The Last Dance. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, your time will come. You don't have to force it. You don't have to, and it ain't my job to really just down your dream. Keep going. I mean, you know, and that's what I do. But as far as what I'm operating with, it got to be on a certain level. It got to be a certain level of quality because I believe that if you want to give a customer something, you got to give them the best quality that you can provide.
This is true.
Especially when it's something that's of every day, like comedy, radio, political talk. What's for us, what's against us is everywhere. But if you're not gonna at least provide that quality or that purity of it to where at this point now it makes me want to hone it. It's almost like bread. You go down the bread aisle, how many different brands of bread is it? But it's something about that one specific brand, or you might know of this one for the reason why you want to try it, but you got to give something that's going to make you
bread, baby.
Come on. Because it's all, at the end of the day, it's the same general content, but it's those one-off ingredients that now make your substance what I want to be involved with or what I want to deal with. Because you can't just be building a brand or more so start putting yourself out there and then accept anything just to get yourself out there, because then you might take away from your name. You might take away from the credit of it when you might actually have gems, but you mixing it in the midst of dirt. And then at this point, you don't want to like let down the people that you cool with. So it's like, you can't be too pushy to where you can't tell the truth in a sense.
But see, that's where you got to make the division between personal and business.
Man, come on.
So, alright, I can love you to death. I could be your friend.
When it comes to that business.
But look, if it come to business, if you late, if you ain't about your business, if you come up there high, if you messing off money, if you are toxic where I can't put you around people and you sour with a mood, that's just like putting rotten fruit next to good fruit.
Man, and that's something, because you have to realize that your vision is your vision, but because you're wanting to now incorporate other people, you got different personalities, people of different ethnicities, different backgrounds, you can't be one way. That's why sometimes it makes a difference of your background. Not to say that you can't come from a specific neighborhood area, whatever, but you still have to be able to turn that switch off in a sense to now make yourself more people oriented to other people, because you have to be able, it's almost like management. You can't be the management to your own liking and then expect people to want to follow you, lead you, and believe in what you got going on.
I'm gonna be honest with you. When people come to me, like they had to learn and adjust to my way of speaking over the years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't the person that's gonna sugarcoat.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna pat you on or try to hold your hand through the situation.
What question for you?
You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. If you want the God honest truth, that's what you come to me for. But if you want somebody to be like, oh, it's good, you be on your side, even though you done fucked up, nah, don't come to me. You know what I'm saying?
So, question for you, because you did mention about you recently coming into comedy, which I didn't forget. You saying you have a funny story as how you came into it. But before we go there, when it comes to comedy, kind of given what we're talking about now, as far as like being straightforward when it comes to business, friendship, and even those that you love. When it comes to comedy, do you feel like comedy is an outlet for you to jokingly joke about the truth? Is that, do you use it to like almost say manipulate your truth?
No. As a matter of fact, I tell the truth all the time. Shame the devil.
Right.
So I don't give a damn. So, you know, if you know what I'm saying, your head look like Rocket Dennis on the mask, I'm going to tell you to your face, your head fucked up. Bruh. You know what I'm saying? if your shoe look like you done wore them hoes and walked through the Sahara Desert, I'm going to tell you.
Jesus was walking with me.
And and when, you know, like my wife always tell me, you think everything a goddamn joke, but that's how I perceive life because I cheated death so much.
Right.
So, I mean, to me, comedy is basically, to me, I mean, it's not really an outlet. It's a social outing. You know what I'm saying? And it's just something that, hey, we can, I got a passion for because everything that I watch, like this shirt, this merch that I've created, this my Mount Rushmore. So this is what I've been watching for years. So, you know, most of the time when I'm at home, I kick back and watch stand-up or whatever. So it's just something natural that I wanted to do, but I just felt that coming from my environment, it was tough for me to just go out in front of people and say it. I'd rather be behind closed doors or with my friends doing it.
So let me ask you this, like, because one of my favorite comedians is Eddie Griffin. Because not only does he make you laugh, you walk away with learning something. So I say that to ask, what do you feel like your style of comedy is?
My style, I run the gambit of many different styles. I do observational, I do vaudeville. I also tell stories. Most of my stories educate. So I have a different type of story. Like I was telling you before we walked in, before COVID, I was 320. And they told me at the beginning of the year that they thought I had cancer. So it came out that I had severe diabetes and high blood pressure. So what I've done over COVID, I beat all of it. I beat no more blood pressure, no more diabetes. I don't drink no more. I'm down 100 pounds. And, you know, we living life. So most of my jokes is like educating people, like telling people my journey, and then also learning something from it. Like, hey, I used to be a chicken wing fiend at Tammy Chan. You know, I knew Mark and them on over there on Malmedy and all that. You know what I'm saying? And when he was on Van Fleet, you know, I go up and down there. I already got my order ready for me. So, you know, I'm just trying to educate and try to save our people in the way I can.
Right.
I ain't gonna lie, like when I first got to Houston, that Timmy Chance on Scott, baby. Hey, look, that made me a Timmy Chance fan. But when they put that Timmy Chance right there off Kirby, where Shoney's used to be,
man,
hell
okay.
no.
Now
That taught me right there. You can't eat Timmy Chance for any side of Houston. Like you can't have Frenchies on any side of Houston. You gotta go to Third Ward for some good Frenchies.
Hey, but the Timmy Chan, you gotta mess with anything on MLK, anything on Cullen. The Herm Clark one, that's decent. But other than that, and the one on Lockwood, don't mess with no Timmy Chan. You might want to mess with the one on Bissonnette because they got the good combination fried right. But other than that, man, you don't want to mess with that, man.
The
that
one on
should have
Scott did it for me, man. I was fresh at H-Time. 2006, baby.
It's something like that.
At TSU when Greystone was still called Greystone. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, Timmy Chance was
memories.
the man.
That Frenchie's was my friend.
Then the Frenchie's right there in the parking lot where the church was too. Bruh, before they moved it across the street. Bruh.
It used to be a car wash.
Yeah.
And they used to do like they research. And I see, like I say, I was fat dude. See me, you know how you got these slim dudes that got the all new clothes and all this here. I was the fat dude that had all the new food and shit. I knew where to go.
Look,
I had
I
the
know
connection. You
man,
know what I'm saying?
That's
So
me now.
but before the
Boogie the man.
I know him too. From Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? Like, go back to cornbreads. I'm old school with it.
I wasn't supposed to be in that place.
But that
that's
place
neither
that
here
you
nor
talking
there.
about, over there, where it's at, the present location,
Yeah.
that's where they used to do cook all their catering, and they used to test out new recipes, and I used to get my car washed there. And the owner's wife used to come out sometime and see me. She know me, and she'd chop me some. You know what I'm saying, that they were cooking. Because I'm telling you, man, I was on road to death, man. I ain't give a damn. I go get me a 10-piece. I go get me a fifth of Crown and some Black and Miles out the FAP, the Fat Hope Pimp. That's why you the pimper for. They used to go get my way for me. You understand?
Hey, so
Damn,
you was around in Third Ward when they had the place called The Spot. Was that some good food there?
Yes. Basically, I'm a native Houstonian. I hail from Fifth Ward, but I've been all the way around the city. I lived in every part of the city throughout my whole life. I pretty much did everything in the streets. So most of the time when I meet somebody through 6 degrees of separation, I know your kinfolk or I know your best friend.
Okay.
That's like me back home in Austin. I know everything.
You know what
Austin.
people sleep on is cream burger.
Nigga.
We're not gonna make this show
Cream
about
burger,
food, but
sparkle burger. Nigga, what? Brothers Tacos, the fuck?
I'm gonna tell you who had the best burger in Third Ward, hands down. If you was over there in Third Ward heavy on Southmo and Live Oak,
Right there, right when you
Cheese.
make that left, bruh. That
Big
nigga,
cheese.
hey, you seen Good Burger and he had the Mondo Burger? Bruh had the Mondo Burgers, goddamn me. Like, them hoes the truth. Nigga, I don't know how I found out about him, but nigga, when I did, bruh, I was there.
he's still operating.
He still there?
No, he moved. He down Scott. He down Scott off of Brandon Street, over there in Sunnyside, and that boy burgers is still the same, but he added barbecue, fried fish, everything. You ought to go check him out.
Bruh, hey, you know what? Ken Mills that came up here and blessed a nigga with some food, motherfucking game. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, if y'all looking for a good ass burger, I know damn well I'm about to go get me a burger after I get these wisdom teeth pulled. But that's where the fuck I'm going. You said Brandon Street? Nigga, we going to Scott and Brandon Street.
I give you his number because you got to call in the order first.
Damn, look at
And that boy got brisket, nacho, all type of things
brisket
going on now.
nacho.
Yeah.
You see, you.
But see, you know, like I say, you know, I switched from being a food connoisseur, a jewelry connoisseur, a woman connoisseur before I got married. All blessings to you, baby Lucretia, my wife at the high.
Hey,
Already,
wifey.
hey, wifey, how you doing?
'Cause
Not
I-
my wifey, his wifey. Yeah.
Right. We
No
love you.
disrespect.
You know, and we went on the weight journey together. Actually, she started way before me. You know, she down considerable amount of weight, and she looked like a supermodel. And
Yeah,
I
come
dropped
on.
down. So now, you know,
I ain't gonna lie,
pushing each
women be
other.
on it. They be on it harder than men.
When the focus comes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, shit.
When I
I
say
done
these
seen some
goals,
women that help motivate me. Like, you know what? I'm about to go run these 3 miles.
man, I'm gonna tell you, you know, my wife, she'll get pissed off with me because I come home with the Timmy Chan. You know, so I had to start hiding Timmy Chan. I really wasn't
You
know.
can't hide that smell.
No,
Man.
so I had scope. I got Yves Saint Laurent in the car, all this shit, you know. And I'm trying to smoke a black to try to throw it off, but the grease on my hand, you know. So I had to
can't
get me
match
some
that
wet
chicken.
wipes and shit.
It's not gonna work.
That's like one of them, you know you're married and you told your wife you stopped smoking cigarettes, so you're outside smoking in the car or some shit.
Well, business, and then you know she know you frauding because when you sleep, the grease come out your pores.
Yeah. grabbed some goddamn chimichurri. No, I didn't. I smell it.
Boy, don't let her find the receipt.
Bruh.
I mean, that's equivalent to us putting our bags in the trunk, you know. I would wait
Going on
strategically
retail therapy.
different times. So when I knew he wasn't gonna be at the house to bring them bags in or condense them down to that one. So that way you're not asking me what all I bought. Oh, I just bought these shoes.
So I would love to hear this story about how you got into comedy.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, you know, that was basically it. But the first night, cause I was trying to find a way to get away from home, so I could eat my wings and shit and be at peace. You know, I want to tell niggas my problem because I feel like I was being abused. You know what I'm saying?
When I realized that I wasn't being my full self because I'm eating chicken in the corner, I needed to share that story.
And then, you know, I'm too much of a man to tear my shirt and call laws on it, so I had to go tell somebody because, you know, men get beat too. You feel me?
Yeah.
You know, she whooped my ass. I ain't, you know.
There's only so much you can do.
Yeah. So, you know, what I did when I got back from Las Vegas, because I was amped up, and in Las Vegas, I was at Fatburger on the Strip, and I walked through a Crip meeting.
Mm.
And, you know, they checked me. They say where I'm from and all that there. Then after we figured everything out, they started talking about rapping life for an hour. We started conversing. I met the pimps. They were sending women, and, you know, that was my element. So we became friends, and they say, come back to Houston and kill this shit on Crip. So that's what I did. I came back, and I went to Carrington's with Cliff 2. I did a good set, you know what I'm saying? I was still beginning. I did a good set, but when I got up there and started roasting people, it was a way different story. So what ended up happening, I roasted 2 established comedians, and, you know, I killed them down, but they good brothers, you know what I'm saying? But in competition, it don't matter.
Nah.
And, you know.
Everything is free game when you come.
Man.
And you can't get in your feelings, you know what I'm saying?
That's the thing. That's almost like battle rap. You gotta eat the punch.
That's like Cat Williams. He be getting in his feelings sometimes.
Oh, but what he did to Wanda Smith, Lord.
Oh man, oh my God.
Lord.
That's forever a classic. She should have tried him. She should have tried him. That nigga said you can buy all her jewelry. For $5 at your local corner store.
Anytime that you do a set, do you ever go back to watch it, or do you like record it to like learn more, or do you kind of know where you need to improve? Like, how do you better your craft?
So with me, it's all about presence and delivery. The topic's gonna come. I have a photographic memory, so most times I don't record. I don't allow people to record. I don't really post too much because, you know, those things are sacred. That's for the audience.
Right, you like that raw moment that you gotta be there. Yeah.
Now, I do record at times, but certain things that I say, I mean, if it's the truth, it's always going to be a part of you. So,
right.
I mean, you know, I might switch a tag or a punch or the way it's set up in certain ways, but it's always going to be similar. But yeah, I mean, you know, I really, you know what I'm saying, the method to me is living. You know, I'm a music connoisseur as well. I listen to everything from the 90s. So I get in the car and I might just ride out and I might just bring back a memory, or I might just put some things together, and then there you go.
I feel you. But found it's something about 90s music. It's something about, hey, look, I started just backtracking. I was talking to this A&R because, you know what I'm saying, I only got a few good years left in me for the music. If I feel like if I don't make it on the music side, then I still got the real estate.
Right.
But I've been backtracking, listening to Barry White, Isaac Hayes, but I fucked around and picked up, I went to City Trend. You know what I'm saying? I go there to get my undershirts and my socks and shit, but they also still sell CDs. Nigga, I picked up a Key Sweat CD.
Man, come on.
Nigga, I forgot this nigga went so goddamn hard.
Man, look.
If it wasn't for all the criticism that he was getting for like the nasal and the whining and shit, the nigga went hard.
Yeah, Keith Sweat he wasn't just crying for no reason.
Nigga,
Like,
I want your money. That nigga.
But, you know, see, I think we may have a variation in age.
Yeah.
But, you know, me, I mean, Keith cool, that New Jack Swing era was cool. But see, me, I come from a different era. I like that Isley brother, that Curtis
Teddy.
Mayfield.
Say Teddy.
Right.
People slept on Teddy.
Yeah, Teddy was hard,
Teddy
but
went hard.
Man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
and he went hard with that man in the car too.
Man, look. I have his records.
You ain't hear that story?
The who?
He had a man in the car. That's how he got paralyzed. He take
I
a
knew he was
transaction
gay.
home.
Tripping.
I mean, I thought he came out that he was gay.
But I don't know. That ain't none of my business. But I just seen it, and I was like, damn. And when you're growing up, they tell you,
Yeah.
They're like,
They're like, man, I thought these Kevin Hart stories were stories. Nigga, nah, this shit
No,
was real.
this is real. We was out here in these streets. Is what we was doing.
You know what
come
I'm
on and
For
go with me.
Man, look. If you time out.
Come on over to my
Thank you.
place.
If you listen to that song, the woman really wasn't trying to hear that. Like, he really coerced her into leaving at this point. Like, that was borderline, like, pressure.
Bitch, you about to come with me.
No, it's okay. I don't.
Billy don't play no games. Bill, he drugging them. He a thugging
You know
them.
what?
You feel me?
Man.
How do you feel about that? Even being somebody that's into comedy, because regardless, I'm gonna say regardless, because I never associate somebody's personal life with their art. And at this point, Bill Cosby is still a pillar in comedy, regardless of how we try to overlook that or try to overshadow what he was doing behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Or anyway, but do you feel any way about the fact that he's still in jail or that?
No, I don't. Actually, what I think of, I have to respect what he did because he had one of the most legendary sitcoms on national TV that we've ever seen.
Wow.
And he's produced additional sitcoms that brought in burgeoning talent. So I always got to give it up to him. But me personally, I'm not I never was really a fan of his comedy. I was more in tune with the Richard Pryor, the Dick Gregory's.
Yeah.
As far as what his case is, see, I'm able to separate a man from his art because I know a man is a man. When you
Right.
start looking at people like pastors, they always hold those type of people in high regard and have that admiration, but then when they do something, they just all the way down on them.
Right.
But they have to realize that they people too. And you a person, so you gonna do some foul shit too.
Right.
But I have no feeling about it. I mean, hey, what happened to him, he did it. He paid the people off. They put him in jail. You just got to do your time.
Yeah.
My opinion on that situation is the fact that I look at the times. You know what I'm saying? Like, not these times, weed is prevalent. Popping mollies and all that shit, like, you do that shit all the time. Back then, it was some type of pills that was popping and cocaine that was sniffing. They was doing that shit. That was regular. You know what I'm saying? So to bring up some shit that was going on during the time way back when to slander this man. So,
Right, just because the drug of choice has changed and now that's something that we look so down upon.
Right. I mean, but that was all coerced. I mean, not coerced, but that was all sabotage because we all know that Bill was about to buy a big network that was going to put black people on, and the powers that be didn't want that to happen. So they had to find something, because none of the other stories stuck. But it was that one woman who happened to fall within the statute of limitations that got him.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think it's race too much. I don't look at it as race. I look at it as power.
Yes.
So, I mean, you look at it, the dude in his 80s. What he was going to do if he bought that network anyway, who's going to run it for him?
I mean, it's the sense of, even if he's in his 80s, it's a black man about to own CBS.
So that's pretty much like...
So at this point, that's like a black person at this point owning CNN. It's just not going to happen. Like, society, the country wasn't built for us. So at this point, to have somebody in that type of power at this point in the forefront that's of color,
it can happen. So the reason why I don't think of it as race at this point is because sometimes that's the defeatist mind state. You start to think that it can never happen because of the hue that we're in. So I flipped it. I say, you know what? It may not be time for it, but there will be a time that someone will be of our color in that position. But the thing is, when that person get to that position, did you really want Bill to be there? Because what Bill was doing, he was talking down on the youth. He was talking down on black comedians as well.
He was doing it.
And imagine if he did make it to that point and was able to sustain, would that have been a benefit to everything that's going on out here?
Right, that's true.
You raise a good point.
That is true.
That is a valid point.
Because sometimes you have to think about in the essence of that person, like how I was saying about it being your calling. Mm-hmm. If it's not your calling and you let it fall into the wrong hands, if we're going to be for the people and talk about being pro-black, would that be our future? Then it makes you kind of, not to take away from the Cosby Show, but because of the ethics of it and how it was presented, I could almost see now where you're going with it would have been only to a certain demographic of black people and not necessarily the whole of us. Because at the end of the day, not to take away from middle class or any African American child or family that comes well off and they're able to do for their family, that's something that's kind of safe to say a given. That's not necessarily where the focus needs to be anyway. It's to these neighborhoods or to where it's these different communities where the help is actually needed. Those are the ones that don't see the benefit or get the opportunity of it because they don't fit that picture or that image of the demographic that you want to give somebody who already has an Ivy League background a scholarship. They were going to get the scholarship regardless because they already have the perseverance to do it. But then somebody now that comes from a lesser background or from a different part of the city who actually needs the opportunity, who has the will to do it, but doesn't have the background that they come from. I get what you're saying. It's like they're never going to see it. And I feel like, too, that's a problem within our community, too, because it's like you only want to help where you can feel like you're going to see the return of it or you feel like you're going to see the continued prosperity of it versus giving somebody an opportunity from a clean slate or nothing. Or they got a story to tell, but you don't realize within that story, this is going to be the person that's going to hold up your shit. This is going to be the person that's going to take you further.
But see, the story of perseverance across history has always been there. Mm-hmm. So even though, like I said before, an opportunity may close in your face, a person who has perseverance will open that door and they'll create their own opportunity. Mm-hmm. And you're right, there is a caste system within black communities because most people that do have look down on the have-nots. Mm-hmm. And they look at them with the same lens that the Caucasian does. So what I try to do, I try to bridge the gap all the way around because, I mean, like I say, I live a storied life. Anybody that knows me knows that I run the gamut of black culture. Mm-hmm. So I can have conversations with those who are woke. I can have conversations with the street. I can have conversations with corporate. I can have some with the wealthy because I know how to communicate with them.
And please, if anybody who's tuned in, it's okay to be diverse and you don't have to now call that person proper or call them bougie now because they're well versed or know how to at this point present themselves to different opportunities.
I caught this one chick an Oreo back in high school. I wish I never did because she still got that body. Like, you know what I'm saying? You a married man. I'm not.
Hey, but look here, bro. If it ain't natural and if it ain't woke, I don't want it.
I feel you, but it was natural even in the high times. I was like, ooh, they made this at your age. Hey, I'm here. Hallelujah. Sign me up. You feel me? And speaking of, before you got married, back in your heyday, you know what I'm saying? Back in your, hey, I'm pimping these hoes, you know what I'm saying? Did you ever feel the need to pick up pussy?
Pick it up, like what do you mean?
Like was you driving to it to pick it up?
Like what's the furthest you ever went?
To your establishment.
I mean, there's many different ways, and the way I look at it, I mean, in the Bible say you gotta be equally yoked. I wasn't fucking with none that I had to pick up. They were coming to me and they were bringing me some.
Look.
Hey, play.
But I was just talking about it. It's nothing wrong with wanting the same of what you have, like what you can do. Like at this point, not to take away if that's what you're trying to get to, but why can't I expect the same shit? Like if I can put this same stuff on the table, I should be able to get in return or have it reciprocated to me the exact same. Because I feel like that makes a difference of the level of the mentality. Because what you should say? No, go.
I honestly feel like it's easier for a woman to leave when she's ready to go.
I'm trying to
just get down to the nitty-gritty.
But that's what I'm saying, the mentality of it. Because you now, okay, you dealing with somebody who's just as established as you. Mm-hmm. She come over fuck with you. Mm-hmm. At this point, she not gonna look at coming over whatever it is that you would possibly like, whether it's food, anything, bringing that with her to come see you, because at this point that's naturally some shit that she will honestly do for herself at this point. Mm-hmm. And then she know our boundaries. It's gonna be more so she know when to dip, or it's gonna be more, it's substance to the encounter, and then it's gonna end. Now switch the role. You got somebody where at this point I gotta go pick your ass up, because at this point you can't. On the other side of Houston, you can't come break up right now. Like, before you. But it's like you're now putting more into it, even if it's as simple as going to always pick them up, or it's always you having to do this on top of what you already bring to the table. That don't make nobody want to take you that serious. I feel like at this point, if he treats you like a bust down, that's just what you offering, because you don't have nothing else on the table.
Let me tell you my philosophy. My philosophy is this. No finance without romance. If you ain't got enough money to sustain yourself, you shouldn't even look for no woman.
Come on, preach. Yes. Male or female, and women, y'all gotta hear this.
So if you can't take care of yourself,
come on,
you gonna burden somebody else to take care of you? You got a mom and daddy. They tired of your ass too.
Preach. Preach.
See, so what you see, like I tell the motherfucker, I say, look, if you want to be rich, get off your ass. But you ain't going to get rich off me. You see what I'm saying? Because what I tell you, I say, look.
Y'all done woke the old him back
Come
up.
on.
That's the old kid talking right there. Man.
My philosophy has always been, I ain't never look for no one night stand or no bust down, because I don't fuck the body, I fuck the mind. So when you get into a person's mind, you understand their mindset, they buy into what you're talking about. It's a journey. So liking to what she said, a woman don't mind feeding you if she know you all the way down with her. Come on. So why you gonna fraud? You feel me? See, when you start frauding and playing games and throwing up all these smoke and mirrors, a woman already know this because they very receptive. They know when you for real and when you ain't. So then that's when they start playing games with you, when you laying that dry dick down there and you hitting them up talking about you gonna come, and you wait for them to come from the club and they say, I fell asleep. That's a lie. They was on nothing nigga did sleep. So
I really do be sleep at times though, for real. Just want to know that. It doesn't mean anything. I'm being childish.
But look,
I just was
and look, I always been a provider, so you know, most of the time, if I did deal with a woman would end up staying with me. Because we grown. Okay, now I know you may need your space or whatever, but when we grown, we aiming towards something. So we building something, so you automatically gonna stay with me. And as a man, the shit in my name. And guess what? When you welcome a woman into your world already got to be set up. Cause how you out here can't have rent money, don't have cable money, don't have internet money, don't have a car, don't have insurance money, but then talking about you going to go fuck something. What if that woman really fall for you and that woman want to be welcomed into your world? You going to put the burden on her? Then that's going to mess off the whole move. Because she can't focus on you. She got to focus on paper.
On. Preach.
Damn, nigga. Hey, look.
When I tell you he just explained why I'm no longer married no more, let me tell you something. It's real out here in these streets. And these are different concepts that I feel like society takes so for granted. It don't even make sense now. I honestly get deemed as being difficult for what you're explaining, and it's ironic because that's what it should be. Like, people will fault me on a sense, because if I feel like I'm not 100%, damn what I look like or the level of intellect or how you know me to see me and you could say that's what you want to rock with. I'm not finna rock with you because I'm not where I want to be at to be able to. I don't feel comfortable in myself now at this point to be trying to be out here doing stuff. But it's like now that I've taken the time to build myself up, establish myself, I'm deemed difficult for not wanting to now backtrack, or now I'm being difficult because I don't want to settle. It's like, come on now, my hustle way too strong. It's way too high for me to now not have that same matched energy. It's not about what you can do for me. That's never the issue. I need you to be on your own, happy with yourself, 100% with yourself. Are you financially okay with yourself? Because at this point, if, like you saying, if the chick already is trying to come into you, because at the end of the day, we're going to go off of how you make us feel. So if we now feel like, okay, this is somebody that I want to rock with and be down with, the security that a woman is feeling, and I feel like men sometimes misconstrue it because it's women's fault at the end of the day, because we want to feel security. But for people like me, it's the sense of knowing that you can honestly take care of shit. It's not about you even at this point providing. It's the fact that you are being a man. Like, you being a man at the end of the day, yes, I get it. It's hard as a black man, but your role as a man, that just comes with that's your role with it. So it's like, if a woman can't match that, or if a dude ain't 100% there, like you said, what's the point of playing in that arena? And now you get somebody that's developing feelings, and you can't even fulfill your duty as a dude.
Like we established so many shows ago, a lot of these women, men and women, are homosexual.
Man, come on, because they looking for somewhere to stay, or at this point, where they can benefit from the situation, but don't want to afford themselves.
And I'll tell you what's the actual root cause of that problem that you state, the homosexual. Because I did great studies on this. See, back in my day, it used to be a dude that ride with you all day, smoke your weed. He play like you sleep on your couch because he ain't got nowhere to go. Right. Mm-hmm. Homosexual nigga. Mm-hmm. You know. But nowadays, see, they play on the insecurity. So if the person, whether it be man or female, they insecure about themselves, they like, okay, I can come on to them. It's just like a dude look at a heavier set woman and think that that's an easier prize. Bruh. Like, they'll try to do that, and because the person that they feel is not secure, they feel they can play on that, and that person will feel lucky to be with them. And then that person could just do whatever they ask them to do, and they could just wear that out. But like my mother told me, never get with nobody unless they love you. You see what I'm saying? Right. Get with who love you. You don't get with who you love. Man. Because, see, you looking at somebody and you think they going to raise your status or possibly make you look a certain way in front of people. And us as black people, we like that because we've been beat down so much. We feel like certain things give us a certain status. Like, if I were to go to Turkey Leg Hut, you see everybody taking pictures of them at Turkey Leg Hut at Steak 48. The Steak 48 picture is so legendary, or Mastro's, or Eddie V's, or whatever. You just want to be seen in a certain light. So that's also in a relationship too. Like most people, they don't want to be with nobody that ain't wanted by others. So when they see somebody that really want it, and they say that they got them, 9 times out of 10, they dealing with a lot of bullshit that they wouldn't deal with normally.
No, that's fact. That's almost law, because I feel like the entire concept of like what you're saying, and to piggyback off of what I was explaining, when you have somebody who now knows what it is that they want, and then you have somebody who is aspiring to be what they want, the person who knows what they want is going to hinder themselves trying to help somebody that's aspiring, because you feel like you have the capabilities to show this person what it is that they need to get there. I feel like if you are going to be the type to put too much into that, it's why you end up with bitter people, or people who feel like they don't want to really date, or they want to just kind of fuck around and not really uphold marriage to even what it should be. Because you spend so much energy now when, if you focus, like how you say, you can find your own lane and do your own thing. That person will suck life out of you while you sitting here trying to pour life into them. It's like it's mismatched energy.
Toxic. That's what you call toxic relationship.
It only goes so far, and I feel like
it only goes one way
to an entanglement.
But I mean, you know, it's like this too. As a person, if you really determined to do anything, whether it's school, whether it's a certain profession, or you want to be in entertainment, I tell anybody this: you gotta focus. You gotta be like, fuck the distractions and lead by example. So I say at first, you know, it was a little bit of trepidation in my relationship because I was pursuing this. But now I lead by example.
Right.
And you got to give time. You got to make sure you balance your time accordingly and pay attention to everything to make sure you don't leave things lacking. And for what you say about a person that's already established to a person that's aspiring, lead by example. Like, okay, I'm going to use something that's real macro. You got a person that's a manager at Walmart, and, you know, they got an attraction to the stock person, right? So the manager, they kicking it or whatever, and the stocker say, I want to come up the way you are. Or are you providing a perfect example for that person? Do they see you go to work early? Do they see you do extra things? Do they see you bettering yourself, going to different college classes? Welcome them along. If they ain't going to be about it, well then, you know, you can welcome them, but leave them there. But you still pursue what you need to pursue. And guess what? It comes out in the wash at the end, because people will be like, you know what? I don't want to be here because he too busy for me, or she too busy for me. They'll weed themselves out. But if you take time to listen to their bull, what'll end up happening is you're not going to achieve nothing, and you're going to be mad because you wasted time.
Man.
That's facts.
And time.
Because, like, I look at it as far as, like, I don't ever shun whoever want to go back and help the next person up.
Right.
If y'all have an attraction to each other. What I do shun is what exactly what he just said. If you doing all this work, but you don't, the other person ain't reciprocating. So now you just putting in work for no reason. And now you, like you said earlier, you come out being bitter. Hell no. You know what I'm saying? If you got a dream, I need you to focus on that dream, and we can bring our individual dreams together as a whole, and therefore flourish.
I feel like it's almost that generational curse of that beaten down mentality that we shall overcome. And I say it almost not just, well, I am going to say it almost in a sense of like disgust in a sense, because I feel like because we're such spiritual people, yes, we're going to naturally always overcome. But you have some people that will beat you down because you're trying to make it, but they don't see themselves making it. So it's like that broken mentality that, I don't want to leave the hood. So it's like, but here it is, you have somebody that's trying to show you a way out the hood. And you can still be your same self, but it's like moving forward is now hindering you back. I think in a sense that's why you get some people that will look at middle class African Americans and kind of turn their nose up at them, because it's like trying to help a brick wall. The wall already built. It might be damaged. You might know in different ways to make it prevent it from falling, but at the same time, it's not gonna go nowhere. So it's like, let me help somebody at this point who has the will to do it. That at this point I can see the track record of what they're doing, but then you can apply that same concept to love, to work, to even you trying to be an entrepreneur. It's just what drive do you have, or where is it going to take you to where now you have.
And
what
see,
you
that's
gonna
why
say?
I love Houston so much.
Man, because you can do
what I'm saying?
anything.
You got, like, a hood nigga can become a middle class homeowner if they know how to save their money.
My thing is, if you know how to bust down a brick, and you can sit here and do the math and know what it is, you can sit here and put that same fundamental into your credit.
But I'm going to tell you, this here. So you're right. The we shall overcome mentality because it's a boundary. It's just like when you see electrical fences, right? So it say stay away. The fence is hot. Now you got some people that stubborn, they gonna run toward that fence, they gonna get shot.
Right.
And then they gonna come back and tell you don't run to the fence. But ain't nobody thought how to knock out the transformer, get the bolt cutters and go through the fence. Now for those who do that, they not gonna come back because they know everybody's still staying with that same mentality, and that's gonna hold them back. And that's what we are now. So you mentioned that if you know how to break down a brick, you should know how to do your credit. Most of them don't have credit because if you're in the cash business, you're not gonna get credit cards. You're gonna have straight cash. So it'll be building the credit. But one thing that I do know that most people that are in that game, they work to try to look to legitimize their money. Now, I've seen most of the younger folks and some older folks.
That's old school because them new ones.
They written Bentleys,
come on,
Maserati.
Ain't nothing invested.
Right, and you throwing away money that you should put up. That's why I say the insecurity game is the whole downfall. Just like in a relationship, just like in life, people are insecure. Like if you ain't never had shit, and now you finally got something, you want to show the people that you got it, and you want them to respect you because you got it. And when you hang in certain areas, you have to do certain things to show that you had that money. All the time, you might not even have it. So that's why you see people go to the strip club, they throw up thousands of dollars, they'll be broke the next day. Or somebody might rent a Bentley and take pictures and go on their Instagram and go to the club in the Bentley just to be seen and be adored by women, niggas, whoever, and then still be broke. But see me, I always been low key. I don't care about that because guess what? People gonna love me for who I am.
I feel like, because anytime I went to a strip club, I went with a spending limit.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't going past this amount of money. If I happen to throw it, set it down, or whatever I choose, eat it up. Because, you know what I'm saying, some strip clubs got some good ass food.
Nah, look, chicken be real, and that pasta be off the chain.
I never realized how good spicy chicken salad could be until I went to Dreams.
Yeah, I had my bachelor party there, you know. I never really been a strip club dude, but, you know, I don't disrespect nobody to go. Everybody got their own thing. But me, I'd rather have a strip club at my house.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? With the woman that I'm with and make it rain on her with that rent money and buy whatever purse, get her ties, you know, baby, you want to go Walmart. You know, that's what women really want. They want toilet tissue. They want
It be the simple stuff. It be the simple stuff.
Decorate the house.
They want leggings. If you come back with some leggings that she can wear in the bed and also in the street, you don't want.
Look, people miss so many opportunities to sometimes have the people that could be their ideal person by doing too much.
Yeah, I'm a prime example. In my life, I did too much and lost out on some good
Man, it's the simplicity of things that it's the smallest detail that can have the biggest impact. But people want to do the biggest thing to have the smallest impact. And like you said, be broke tomorrow. At this point, your entire attitude is not even the same right now. Like, we're not even having the same energy because last night we was turned.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't know if your account is negative or you went into your rent money. But at this point, you are now angry. And whereas I'm trying to now appreciate what you did last night, we can't even really do that because, quote unquote, that was for show. Now you're not genuine. People, that insecurity stuff, outside of you now being 100% where you want to be financially, to deal with those insecurities prior to you now getting with somebody, even if you have the most fucked up past, shit don't look suspect when you deal with your own securities. Because you can genuinely look at somebody and I appreciate that person for who it is, and you're not going to compare it to like, oh, that's that shady shit. Like I tell people, you have to find out, did that person grow up being loved or was that struggle love? Because that's two different scenarios, and that's going to be two different backgrounds. And at the same time, a person can have all the ambition, all the goals in the right world, and have everything you want. But if that's that struggle love that they grew up on, and my issue was I used to try to think that I could teach somebody who was from struggle love to appreciate what real love is. And there is the time gone away, because at this point, that struggle love, everything seems suspect. Or, I'm going to get you before you get me. Or, I'm going to keep one eye closed. And
at the same time, you got to also ask yourself, has this person been educated on how to spend money?
Man, look.
Or they never had money? Because I'll say this. Freshman year at TSU, when I got my first refund check, nigga like me ain't never seen a couple of racks. I mean,
and I had my little credit card.
I was lit. For my uncle, because he was always getting money, so he needed help counting. You know what I'm saying? But me personally, nigga, I ain't never seen a couple of racks at a time.
Man,
I flourished through that shit quickly and expeditiously.
I used to carry my Tiger ID card, my driver's license, and my credit card and my bank card. I thought I was it.
See, my mama taught me a lesson. When I was 12 years old, I was paying rent at the house. She told me, she say, if you gonna live here, you gotta give me $250 a month.
Come on.
Now, 12 years old, I ain't got no job. I ain't gonna tell y'all what I did to get the money, but she always had the money. Now, it got to a certain point where I got tired of that shit. She put me out. I thought I wanted to be a hustler big time, but she locked that top lock on me. Then when I started going to Palace Inn, I had the dope fiend buying me room in Palace Inn. My shoes started coming up missing. I was back at that door. Let me back in. And that taught me this here. Just because you get money, don't fuck it off. Put it up and build your foundation. Look, there's certain things that we all fear. Some of us, we live in the hood, but we fear the hood. Sometimes we cringe at going to the corner store. Sometimes we cringe at going to the McDonald's or going to the park. And we say we want something better. Stack up, go do it.
Right.
Build your own reality. Ain't nobody gonna hate you for that. Ain't nobody gonna call you no sellout. That's why we fail that. We worry about other people.
Who is calling you a sellout is somebody that's broken-minded that really needs to stay where they at, because the goal is always supposed to be to get out of the hood. It should never be to stay.
The only reason if you staying in the hood is if you buying it up.
I'm trying to tell you, like, if you're not putting back into that same hood that you that down for, and that same hood isn't in support of what you're trying to do to better yourself or to know that these is like genuine people for the reason why you ride down with them like that, you a fool. Yeah. Like, that's just crazy.
I was trying to get on his team. He buying black dude. He's buying Third Ward in order to stop gentrification. So what he's doing is he's rebuilding a lot of houses and having the people that was going to get evicted out or kicked out to go back and rent the houses that's remodeled and rebuilt and to stay there.
And I mean, there's nothing wrong with building up the hood, but you also have to look at the infrastructure. As they gentrify, they upgrade the infrastructure. Infrastructure meaning, like you see your fiber cables come in, you see the sewer system get updated. Now, mind you, the same people that are coming back and buying these things, their ancestors, the ones that put us in that area.
Come on,
right?
Because the ghetto is a German name of sorts, and they come back pre-Holocaust days. So that concept of keeping us sequestered to a certain area, they wanted us close to the city because we were the labor force. Yeah. Our people would come work for them in their houses and their buildings or whatever. But now, we're not the labor force because so many of us, we either seeking entrepreneurship, criminal gain, we went to college, so we're in a different social system at this point. So the next person that came in and took that labor force is your Hispanic. And then you look at it, most historically black neighborhoods are now turning Hispanic for that simple reason, because it's cheap housing and also it's centralized because they're the labor force.
That makes sense.
So, and we get drove out because there's no more use for you. So that's why you see people going wild near Katy or going wild near Greens Point. Or you have a smattering of people that come from a certain side of the north and they put them in low income housing on homestead. and you see killings because maybe them people don't get along because they from different neighborhoods. See, those are problems that people not gonna talk about because they don't have a certain objectivity to see it. Look beyond the forest, past the trees, and you will see it all.
Hey, I'm fucking with this comedian.
Okay, because it's the reality of it, and I feel like that's where the comic side comes into it, because you have a sense to see past the reality of what society wants us to focus on, to then put the punchline to bring it back home to make it comedy, because it's almost like it's a joke, because it's like, how can you not almost see this when this is the same struggle, the same battle of what you're fighting for constantly? It's like, why not joke about it at this point?
Basically, history repeats itself.
So, I mean,
in a new fashion statement.
Any comedy gonna have a level of self-deprecation. Because in order to make you laugh, I'm gonna touch on something that I'm not too comfortable with. And I have to face my comfort level with that topic in order for me to get it out. So once I get it out, I have no more shame.
Yeah.
So that's why you can see some of your better comedians, some of the topics, they're going to be talking about themselves, and they're going to talk about things that they may be ashamed of, but it's going to be twisted in a certain way where it's still true, but they're not ashamed of it anymore because it made them stronger as an individual. And they know that others relate to it.
Yeah, I do remember seeing a lot of stand-up comedies where a lot of comics will actually talk about their own personal family.
Kevin Hart went through his whole family.
Bruh.
And that's why I know a lot of people don't like him, but that's Richard Pryor especially. It don't get no deeper than that. Like, that was a lot, but it was funny though, because it was like, it was his reality at the end of the day.
Hey,
and sometimes you see a person in such, like you saying, you see a person in such iconic light that you forget they regular people, and then for you to joke about setting yourself on fire. It's like, it's the joke within itself, because who is going to set themselves on fire? But then to know he actually did it, to now understand that person's state of mind, you can't do nothing but really laugh at it. You don't feel bad. You're not angry about it. It's a joke in it, because at the end of the day, nigga, you really set yourself on fire on some shit.
He just basically telling you what you thought in your mind, or you told your significant other before you went there. Because you be like, look at this crackhead motherfucker, him. You know, you'll be thinking that in your mind.
But he gonna say it.
Yeah, and then you can laugh at it because he cool. He ain't gonna laugh at something that we think people not cool with. Like if, let's just say, like half of your face was burned or something. And I'm thinking in my mind, you look like a hot link or some shit. You know?
A hot link.
But I wouldn't say that to your face because I know that probably hurt your feelings. But if you start talking about yourself, well, then I might start talking about your ass.
Okay,
you know?
I'm going to just slide it in there now. At this point, we free game
like
now. Shit, you know, open the window.
I don't know if you watch Roast Me on YouTube. Yeah, that's like the dude that was in there with the wheelchair. Well, you in here, so you free game, my nigga. Shit.
Yeah. And you know, that's just basically it. And then it also brings about a level of freedom. Because you're not holding on to things that bog you down anymore.
So that's what, for you, that's what comedy is. It's just a release for your own self-freedom.
No, because I live free anyway. I say and do what the hell I please. Either it could be overt or covert. In my older age, I learned how to be more covert. So I know how to be a little bit more cerebral where I can do things and outsmart people.
Right.
Nah, because the vernacular you use, you can tell that you're very well educated and or very well bred. You know what I'm saying?
It's always a smaller detail.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, hey, like what my boy on Color say, Robert Duvall, he says the young bull told the old bull, let's run down here, mess with the mans or whatever. He said, nah, why don't we just walk down and fuck them all? So that's the covert thought. Why you gonna run into something? You gonna run through a brick wall trying to get it?
When I can casually pull up with energy, and at this point,
it's a door right there. I can just walk through that door right there, smooth as shit, and get everything.
Get everything. Everything. I fuss with it. speak on your last, the last show you did. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you did the stand up with a line of other comedians. Sorry, with my boy Prince.
Oh yeah, Prince. Now, all right. So I met Prince during COVID. Through another comedian. He wanted to book me. So as we started talking, and as he got more acclimated to me, he was like, "You produce events." So he came out, and you know, he had a wonderful time. It was an event that I hosted. I don't perform every event, and I'll tell you my mentality on that. And also shout out to Slab the comedian, short, loud, and black. So my whole concept is, why would I want to be the centerpiece on the front every damn time? Think about it. If certain people come to see me, okay, then next month they're going to come see me again, or I'm going to have a drop-off. Why not give them brand new people, and why not give other people opportunities? And then on top of that, I pay people well. I pay people what they truly worth. I don't crumb people. I don't tell them that they need to sell tickets and you know, crumb them like that and then make it a bringer show. Because bringer mean I'm only hiring you because you can bring people.
Right.
That's my job to promote.
I had a lot of people try to hit me up as an artist. They're like, all right, we're going to get you a slot here, but you got to sell these tickets.
That's trash. Look, because if I got to do that, I might as well go get me a venue, and I might as well press up my own tickets, put my Eventbrite up there, and market myself, and get the whole gusto. Because basically what you're doing is they work for them.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they not respecting you or your craft because they don't give a shit as long as you bring in a certain amount of people.
Yep.
So,
which ain't doing nothing but securing their dollar.
Yeah, and most of them people gonna come there for their people, and then guess what's gonna happen?
They gonna dip before you get on.
And guess what? You're gonna have 4 people in there that came for you, and they just gonna be sitting there looking stupid as shit, and you ain't gonna never go nowhere. But when you go out there and you market yourself and you create a lane and you get a stranger to buy into what you're doing, let's just say you a performer and you do an open mic and you consistently at this open mic and you bettering yourself and you good. Somebody will come through there. Or you might go to a venue and you might see somebody and you speak up and you say, hey, I'm looking at possibly doing something, possibly getting a night here or this, that, and the other. And if you know your proper business acumen, you'll know, look, let me take a percentage of this, a percentage of that. This is your return on your investment. This is the time
That's a whole
period.
different conversation.
This is the time period that I wanted. You know, I can make allowances, this, that, and the other. And once you get that buy-in from that venue owner, there you go. You got your own enterprise.
Man.
Then you could possibly take that, hustle that with your proceeds, get you some merch, do other things, and you might be able to get your own venue. That way you can open more opportunities for people that were struggling just like you. But it's a litmus test. You can't have no lazy ass performers coming up there bullshitting. You can't have toxic people, and you can't have the untalented. You gotta have somebody. They gotta have something.
Right.
Substance is everything, and substance over hype any day, because you can have somebody that can have a following. It's easy to do something and get a following, and you have no substance to what you're doing. TikTok, for example. TikTok, yes, I see a lot of people going that way to use it as a platform, but if you look at it from a distance, looking at the bigger picture of it, it's nothing but a bunch of bullshit of 30-second different videos. However,
but honestly, that's what they thought about Vine. Vine was about 30 to 60 seconds worth of video.
But what I'm saying is you could get somebody that can become famous off of it. Right. They don't have nothing behind it. Versus now you have somebody that's willing to take the opportunity he started with from small. He now has his own place to give other people the opportunity. You could go to that same hole in the wall, but because you know of the quality, unhidden talent that's going to be there, is why you going to keep going. Versus now you go into the same popping ass club that got all the bigger promotions just because they got the bread to do it or whatever different connections or who it is to make it look more flashy. And the shit be boring, you be ready to go. Food be trash. At this point, drinks watered down. Like you looking at every other negative thing about it now except for the quality of what it is that you came for, the reason why you here.
Like, you know what? I could have had more fun at home.
And that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, and I mean, as a performer, and I know you know this, Philip, as a performer, you can feel like that. You can come out somewhere, you be like, man, I'm just going to do my shit and I'm finna get out of here. And you should never feel like that as a performer. You should be amped. You should be ready to give that to the audience. And also, you shouldn't want any of your fans to go through that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll lose fans that way. Because if they know that you just go anywhere and just perform anything, it's hit or miss with you.
Right.
That's why last week, it was either last week or the week before, I had my face on the flyer to go perform at this certain club. I'm not going to bash it, but given the fact that the size of the club and the people that wanted to come see me, I counseled myself because nobody was going to be comfortable in there to watch me perform, and it was hella small, so there was really no space for me to perform. You know what I'm saying? So although it was an executive decision, I probably still could have brought in some extra fans or what have you, just off the strength of that I performed. I didn't want to have my people uncomfortable and probably standing in the corner somewhere and be like, hey, he go hard. Yeah, that's the boy.
Yeah, because I mean, it's all about the look, because when people start to buy into what you do and they look at the standard that you portray,
right,
they willing to buy into it. Because at that point they know, man, we're going to get this every time. Right. It's just like what you said with Timmy Chan the Frenchies.
Yeah.
The variation and consistency. When you start to see that, you going to lean toward where your consistency is all the time, more frequent, rather than going with something that's up and down. So, I mean, that's what I strive to do. And even with my talk show, I strive to be consistent and also forever growing. Because even if, let's just say, comedy a fickle business, I could go on stage today, kill that motherfucker. Go on next week and bomb. So you have to figure out your balance to always deliver a consistent product.
It's funny you said that because I was listening to Big Sean Detroit too, and that's what I heard Dave Chappelle talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like he loved Detroit because of the energy that the people give him. But it was one particular night he was backstage smoking with some artist that sings the song Adderall or what have you. You know what I'm saying? And after he got through smoking, he turned to this older gentleman and was like, yo, my number's up. I'm about to bomb. And sure enough, he bombed. But he didn't know that he was talking to Big Sean's dad. But yeah, that just brought up my head. That just came to my mind when you said bomb as far as the comedian wise.
Yeah, because I mean, it's easy to happen. Like sometimes people, you got to judge your audience. It's all cerebral, like I said. So a tip out here, I know you have a lot of folks listening and I want them to hear this. So most of the time, I don't perform at every venue that I go into. I only go to open mics because I'm real nice with the people who run it. You know what I'm saying? Like my partner Cliff too tonight, he do Carrington's on Tuesdays.
That's an open mic?
For comedy, and that's been going on for the last 3.5 years. And then last night, I was at District 9 on Cullen with Ray, etc. He do Bodega Mondays. Ever since I've been in comedy, I've been rocking with him. So I go to them places, you know what I'm saying, just for the camaraderie, just for the sense of community. If I feel like going up, I'll go up. But other than that, I won't. Because I'm sitting up there and I'm looking at the audience. I'm looking at certain topics that they find appealing.
So you're really in there just researching.
Yeah. So I'm watching, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the reaction on certain jokes, how they take it. I'm also looking at even the conversations that are being had. Like whether they might be talking about the venue or maybe they might be talking about stuff that's going on in their life. and they might give you an insight in, okay, this can trigger this person, this can trigger that person. You should never be a person that just go in somewhere and say, get me on the stage, get me on the stage.
Because you might not be for that crowd.
You might not be. Honestly.
You can make yourself flop on some shit trying to seize an opportunity that technically wasn't for you, because at this point they can't relate to you and you can't relate to them.
I had performed at this club called DD Sky Bar. Which is the old Indigo Club, if you know what I'm talking about, right across from Philadelphia's. Now, my music is more some chill, laid back, player type shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't really make a lot of hype music or what have you. I want to make that shit you can smoke, get high to, pull some bitches to, something. You know what I'm saying? And I should have went with my first mind was to perform one of my old tracks that had some hype to it, because I changed the whole dynamics of that club that night. Everybody got on there hyped up. Here I come with some cool, smooth shit, and it really killed the whole vibe. So doing research on the crowd and stuff like that, and making sure that you have a different array to pull from is very important. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I did forget going through this COVID shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad you said that.
Because, I mean, you know, never be over eager. Because every stage ain't yours.
Man.
Never be over eager. That's like when it's just like talking to a woman. You might see a woman, this, that, and other. Some dudes, they'll run up and say, let me get your number, let me do this. I done seen people do wild out like Kappa. They talking about let me eat her up and this, that, and other. I'm going to sit back and I'm finna watch her. I'm finna watch her and see how she interact. I'm seeing what she doing, you know, seeing what type of woman she is. I ain't gonna catch her in front of everybody. I'm gonna catch her on the side, and I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be a southern gentleman and bring her something to drink and talk to her. Have a conversation, get into her mind first. Don't worry about her body. Because, see, at the end of the day, and no disrespect, but any woman, when they get 50 or 60, man, some women, they going to hold it down. Some women going to be out of there. So you got to be ready, man, to deal with their mind and see where they mind at. The face don't change, though. You can look at their grandma and see, you know what I'm saying? Now, if she got moles and hair, you know, in their face, you know, you might want to pay for some laser, but it's all good. But, you know, just look into, in any situation, look into the heart of it before you touch it.
You're right, because the mind frame is real. You know what I'm saying? My boy was a strip club, well, he still is a strip club DJ, but I ran with him for like a whole 2 summers. And sitting in every strip club that he was DJing in, like, I wasn't out here chasing these women or what have you. We in strip clubs every night. I sat back and just chilled. You know what I'm saying? Had my own little drink, chopped it up with them. And you'll be surprised at how many real women are behind them stripper clothes and them eyelashes. You know what I'm saying?
I don't judge people off of what they do because people have different circumstances. Growing up from the bottom, growing up from Fifth Ward, I grew up in a small section of Fifth Ward called Bucktown in Coke Street.
Never heard of this.
No.
So
First time.
I'll tell you, you're on I-10, you exit Waco, you come down Waco to Buck Street, you hang that left, and it's in the back of Wheatley.
I think that's what when I first started coming around, they shot that video for that dude. I think that Coke Street is still over there. Yeah, I don't really know, but I think I know what you're talking about.
But being around drug addicts, you learn the heart of a person. Because you can't judge people for what their circumstance is right now. Them people might really be good people. I done got most of my game from Dauphin.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? I don't judge nobody because it's saying the good book, don't judge nobody. Nobody is above sin. No sin is greater than the other. Yeah, he might smoke crack, but yeah, you steal and you lie. So in God's eyes, you dirty as hell anyway.
You know what I'm saying?
We could talk about God too, because I'm an ordained deacon.
That book is an entire contradiction anyway. Because
my grandfather was a pastor. They commemorate him at his first church out in Giddens, Texas. Yeah. Man, it's probably what you know.
Yeah, because, you know, I was a deacon for 5 years. I was on trial for 2 because I was single when I did it. and they wanted to see how steadfast I was in the faith. But now, my whole outlook on that is I have my own personal relationship, and no building can control that. Whether
Right.
they open or close it, God is with me wherever we go.
You are the temple.
That's right.
Indeed. You know what I'm saying? Just to backtrack real quick, man. You mentioned that you have your show. Let the people know where they can find your show at.
Okay.
The name of your show.
All right. So on Thursday, every Thursday, on Boss Up Houston Network is World Views with Ken Mills. I mean, we bring in basically every portion of the community. We bring in entertainers, artists, entrepreneurs, professionals, and we have themed approach. We talk about certain things for certain times, and it's also geared to help you survive this turbulent time. So,
I'm gonna definitely check that out.
So Thursday we got a special one. It's called It's called the Free Enterprise episode, and we'll be talking about the free enterprise capitalist system, and we're going to relate that back in many different ways. I can't tell you the hook on it.
Of course, can't give it away all now.
But my previous show, I interviewed several candidates that are politicians in Fort Bend County. So we had the Stafford mayoral candidate. We had Stafford City Council candidate. We had the present Stafford Municipal School District president.
The Stafford ain't number right down the street. They got some of the best chicken over there, you know what I'm saying?
We said we wasn't going to make this about food.
Look, Mo City Grill got the best Mo City wings and lemon pepper wings. I don't eat a lot of fried food, but I destroy theirs.
My buddy, he on Sundays he does a brunch there. He does a comedy brunch. I believe starting at 6 o'clock, etc. You might want to look into it.
Okay.
6,
that's not my time. I get off at 7 now. On Sunday.
But I mean, and we also had the Fort Bend County Attorney candidate. And what we did, we just broke down their platforms and what they were willing to do for the Fort Bend community.
That's what's up. So you like, it's something like Roland Martin, if you're familiar with his show on YouTube.
No, I would liken it more, it's in between two lanes. I'm older, so I used to watch Sally Jesse Raphael.
Man, come on.
And Don Lemon.
Yes.
Don Lemon. I love the way that he engages the audience and also how he engages people that he brings on, because he don't take no bull from them. No slight against Roland, but I'm not in tune with him. I watch more CNN than anything.
Right, I feel like I watch his show because it keeps you in tune with what's going on from a black agenda or black standpoint on a lot of different cases and a lot of unsung situations that's going on within the nation. You know what I'm saying?
I can respect that, but from my vantage point, I love the black community. I'm a part of the black community. I can't change that.
Right.
I can't bleach it out. I lost a bunch of weight, but I can't lose being black.
Can't lose that melanin.
No, but at the same time, I know how the story gonna go because it's never in the story. So why not look into the other realm and learn what's going on over there and figure that game out, and then maybe I can bring it back.
That's what it's about.
If I sit over here with the so-called oppressed, and we oppressed, we're gonna be depressed.
I'm trying to tell you.
If I go over here, we gonna progress.
That ain't nothing but facts.
I fuck with that.
And find a way covertly to weave through it, then I can give you the game to covertly weave through it.
I'm trying to tell you.
But don't be loud.
Look, that's one of those situations where sometimes, even in that aspect, you'll find the real about a person then. Because when you take the time now to go, we're going to say over there, to now master what's happening over there and get a better concept, because from people that's stuck over here, that seems so foreign. It seemed like something that will never pertain to us, that you now trying to have somebody to come teach you that. A real person or a genuine person who is open to wanting to know what reality really is going to want to hear what you have to say. They're going to be susceptible to how you're delivering it because it's going to be so different. It's going to almost contradict what you know, how you was raised, how your parents was raised, how your grandparents was raised. But you see the logic in it to now want to take it and apply it to your everyday. Versus now, you speaking to somebody who has found a certain demographic. That demographic works for them. That demographic, because it's always there and evolving, but that demographic is just right there. That's where their money at. You talking to a whole brick wall because they're not gonna understand it. It's gonna come off like now you trying to hate on what I'm doing, or you don't want to see me now prosper. And it's like, how could I not want to see you prosper when I'm trying to tell you that where you get in your money right here, what you are prone to know, that's just one flicker of light. But if you put on different shades, depending on how the sunlight is hitting this window, if you pay attention to it differently, you can see it differently. If you can understand that concept, you can then understand life. But for somebody who now wants to be tunnel vision, it's like you're getting nowhere. And I feel like that's the struggle. That's the problem in the community.
So this is my struggle as well, and I hate to deviate
No,
from
you're
it,
good.
but I'm going to loop it back into what you said. Now, everybody talking about you 35, you shouldn't be on the club flyer. Now, I understand, you know, of a certain age, we want to still enjoy ourselves, this, that, and other, but why not take your money, not go to Miami, not go to Atlanta, not go to LA, not go to Las Vegas. All that money you're going to spend in them same places, why don't you get you an all-inclusive in Cabo, go kick it, you ain't even got to leave the resort. And you can eat all day, drink all day, be in the finest of oceans in the Pacific Ocean, and live. You see what I'm saying? But it go back to the insecurity because I want everybody to see what I'm doing. And I want to be accepted. I want to be in the fold. But when you say, oh, no, I'm going to Puerto Vallarta. Oh, he think he's something. He think he doing something. He big time, you know. But that ain't even the case. So you got to stop thinking about the acceptance of a certain group and just deal with your own acceptance and knowing that there's something further beyond, because a lot of people, they don't have a passport and they never been outside the United States and they don't know how you treated outside because you beloved.
Come on.
You beloved. Because if you go to Europe, you beloved. In Germany, they got black statues. They got the Black Madonna. I went to Mexico. In Puerto Vallarta, we went on a tour. They had Black Jesus hanging from the ceiling. I'll show you a picture after this. Black Jesus hanging from the ceiling with a melanated Madonna right there.
Yes.
And they love you. They say, welcome. You home. But you'll never understand that because you still want to hang around and be accepted in the places that you shouldn't be.
Man, let me tell you something. Right now, that very concept is something that I had to kind of fight through, because my catalog of work that I've done, as far as like who I've worked with or who has came to like different events that I've done or just different interviews that I've done, I'm one of those people where I don't seize on social media to go live in the instance, or have somebody who was able to record and capture it.
Right.
There's a trail of it, but it's not in the forefront of social media. So now when I come to certain people, and because of now I know what it is that I could bring to the table or bring to what it is, when you're trying to explain that, because you can't readily go to my Instagram or you can't readily go, it's like you'll want to sleep on me because you'll feel like my content isn't that forefront of the approach of what you're trying to do. But then you could turn around and get somebody that at this point goes down that dotted list of what you feel like is of substance, and you get no result from it. But then either in passing or something happens and now I'm able to show forth what I was talking about it's like now either you want to backtrack or it's more so now you better understand where you wasted your money, or where it's like now I understand the value of the substance of what you were trying to bring to it. Sometimes clout isn't everything. Just how we was talking about doing every show isn't everything. Because when you're trying to put something that's gonna bring that quality to the brand that you know you have to offer and focus on, you have to be able to sometimes say no or weed out what is going to add that flavor to what it is that you're offering, because then you're going to just come out looking like somebody that just keeps taking on, but it's like what's producing from it.
Right. I mean, I feel like that's goes back to what he had said earlier, like, don't be loud.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like, and we're going to close out the show, I feel like a lot of our people, in a short minute.
I didn't realize it was 1:39. Come on, when we talking.
I feel like a lot of our people have lost the art of discretion.
Man.
To where we have to do everything in the forefront and show everybody what we have, or this, that, and the third.
Who is calling? Okay.
And so therefore, it's like, if you can get past want to be seen or want to be congratulated for every little thing you do, you know what I'm saying, and you're more willing to work behind the scenes, I feel like you'll achieve more at a faster rate. You know what I'm saying? As far as just be like, oh man, I did this, I got this amount of money, I gotta do the money fold on Instagram so people see I'm flexing, or I gotta go pull up in the Lambo or McLaren so people know I got it. Nah, like, do it. This artist, I don't really listen to his music, but Kanye inspired him. I think it was Lil Pump or Lil Twist or somebody. Kanye inspired him to go buy land. So instead of spending $600,000 on jewelry or whatever else to flex, this kid went out and bought. You know what I'm saying? That's something I can get behind. Versus you going out here, I need to flex real quick momentarily and grab a whole lot of stuff that's going to depreciate in value.
Because to that point, it's an old adage my aunt taught me. She say, never let the left hand know what the right hand do. See, a lot of times in their quest to be accepted, you get more problems. If you know you got the money from illegitimate means, why in the hell you on Instagram? If you know that you doing something illegal, you smoking weed, you packing a pistol, you doing all these things, why you on Instagram? Why you showing people the pistol for?
Bruh.
If somebody roll up on you, they already know what ammunition you working with.
Said this, like looking at stuff.
And most of these people, they ain't ready for no fisticuffs. They ain't ready for no hands.
Come on, because they can't activate them.
No, because the daddies was gone. So they don't know. All they know about is what they role model was most times with their older sister, their mama. Because their mama got loud and was emotional when she was playing cards at the table, playing talk with the angel.
That ain't the same.
So now he got to be loud every time miss a conflict. He don't know conflict resolution, so he scream and he trying to be seen, and he gotta be loud because that's all he know. So that's why I teach people. I say, man, it's a different way to skin that cat. Be quiet, man.
Come on.
You don't gotta tell people how great you are. If you are really truly great, you gonna get adoration, and they gonna tell you. They gonna tell the world about you. The key thing is when they tell them, just say thank you or don't even listen to it, because you're never great. Because once you believe you great, you'll never grow again. Because you'll believe it. You'll start trying to live up to that hype. Never live up to the hype.
You have to be ever evolving.
I watch a lot of anime. You know what I'm saying? And I was watching an anime. I think I was rewatching. It was Bleach. And one of the head people in there, which was a scientist guy, he was like, I despise people who look at it. You know what I'm saying? Or this is a perfect being, or this is a perfect this. Because once you believe that something is perfect, you'll no longer strive to become better than perfect. You'll just be stagnant on what you think that perfect is. Just like what you were saying.
And that's the truth, because I went through that a lot of times, and it wasn't even through comedy. It was through just regular life. Like people would say that I'm doing good, I'm this, I'm that. But then when you look at it, if I would have pushed myself harder, I probably would have reached a certain point quicker.
Right.
And then that's our problem too. We want to be lauded and we want to be seen as great because we feel that we aren't great. We feel that we don't matter. That's why they say Black Lives Matter, but I don't know who run that.
Yeah, just like nobody knew who ran the NAACP for this many years. Till they found out it was a white woman.
That's correct. And I mean, it just
Yes, little stuff like that matters.
yeah, but I mean, it's all about
Perception. Not perception.
Not even perception. It's all about how you feel about yourself. If you want to have the defeatist mentality and think that you ain't shit, you ain't never gonna be shit, you ain't gonna never amount to shit,
Man.
that's what you gonna end up being, not shit. But if you like, look, nothing gonna stop me. I can get there, Lord willing.
That's almost equivalent to saying, I don't need Black Lives Matter to tell me that my life matters.
Right.
I don't need somebody to die in the streets. And I know that's a sensitive topic, but I don't need something like that to happen to remind me that I now need to do more for my community. Because I always say, for that short moment of time when something happens, that's when you see everybody on the bandwagon with their phone out, showing them going to the rallies, showing them doing this, showing them doing that. But then when it's everyday life, at this point the complete opposite and doing the very things that hinder us as people. That's the mentality that I feel like too has to be broken at some point, because if you know that you are of essence, every day, all day, you don't need something now for a fad or a certain movement to justify what you need to constantly do on an everyday basis. It's so many people that's even coming out now with this election that's now starting up to say that this is legit their first time voting.
Yeah.
What was that, Shaq?
Yeah. A lot of people.
He really shouldn't have said that out loud. Like, what do you mean that this is your first time voting? It's been too many critical errors besides what's happening right now that your vote matters.
Back to what he was saying before. You have this wall of people of have-nots. You know what I'm saying? When they get to a certain status,
you feel like that don't even apply to you now. It takes literally destruction of us.
They got out of whatever situation they was in, and now they living in this type of this bubble. What have you? You know what I'm saying? Now that they live in this bubble, a lot of stuff don't affect them. But until it affects them directly, that's when people start actually giving a damn and start trying to do more and so forth and so on. But with that being said, Ken Mills, man, please let these people know where they can find you on social media once again and how they can contact you if they wish to do any kind of further business with you.
I'll say it again. On IG, you can find me on World of Comedy 5. Also, World of Comedy 5 Entertainment. My email address is worldofcomedy05@gmail. I'm also found on Facebook as Ken Mills. You can catch me every Thursday on Boss Up Houston Network, which is also hosted on Facebook and YouTube at 9 p.m. with World Views with Ken Mills. I'm just happy to be here, man. I thank you for the invitation, as well as our mutual friend Leon J. Prince and Slab Comedy. And it was a pleasure meeting you, Empress.
Yeah, look, anybody of substance, if this is our first time meeting, if you are of substance or have something more to offer than what the typical male or just anybody in this industry is supposed to offer, I'm always in support. I'm always willing to back it, because I just feel like it's too much of the flashiness that we get on the everyday basis where we take away from what growth is.
Right.
You can make some money, you can get in a booth, you can do whatever it is that you want to do, but anything that has something for the people, again,
You can help them build.
please continue to do what you're doing. Houston needs more of it. because even for us to be the 4th largest city, I just feel like it's more that we have to offer. So definitely keep doing what you're doing.
We definitely do. And I will leave y'all with this. The Houston comedy community, we're here, we're strong, we're talented, and we're vast. And I say this, if you're willing to go out and laugh, there's a few people in Houston that I'll call out that when they got a show up for it. You got Keisha Hunt on the north side on 1960 at Laugh Jones Comedy Club. That's my comedy sister. You can follow her online at Comedian Keisha Hunt on IG. Then you got Leandre Prince, Just Call Me Prince Management at Showtime Lounge and Bar. They do things on Slab Sundays. So if you see anything out there with Leandre Prince name on it, holla at it. Also Cliff 2 every Tuesday night at Carrington's. Open mic. But it ain't really open mic because it be a lot of professionals in there. You never know who gonna hit the stage, like Lil Dara, Jeff Shelley, whomever.
I'm mad
missing it.
Then, lastly, myself, Ken Mills. I run World of Comedy 5 Entertainment, and you know, we have a standing residency at the library. The library is a unique place in 3rd Ward. It's right there.
I've never heard of that place. I want to go now.
There one time.
It's on Scott, right before you get to Elgin. It's on Scott, right before you get to Elgin. It has a huge patio, but it's built for the intellectual. There's books all inside. The owner, Strode Churchwell, very good friend of mine, but they have food, they have drink, and it's the nice type of vibe.
It is. It is.
You sold me a books.
And with that said, we're glad you tuned in to the Late Night Hype. Those of you who are tuning in on the radio, please look for the Late Night Hype Midnight YouTube page and Instagram page to catch the reposting of the interview in case you missed it. With that being said, we out.
Hey, peace.
All right.
Yes, it was a good pleasure.
Yeah. Not often that we have a. Hold on. Let me.
He said, let me get this shit together.
Yeah, let me stop this shit real quick.